damage.
Yes.
What was your reaction?
State of emergency.
Like a train, like a called boo doo 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 doo.
Strong storms tore through a tiny town.
Nothing but wind and debris just coming everywhere.
With deadly force.
They were in the mobile homes, and there was a baby inside, too. It was just horrible. It was just horrible.
And while survivors count their blessings,
I saw the trees swerving, and it was, I'm lucky.
they're also trying to understand.
So after a situation like this, you know, did the worst happen or did the best happen?
And that brings us to team coverage of the deadly storms. We are tracking damage reports from Waverly to the peninsula. We are also keeping an eye on the system from the Weather Center for what you can expect overnight. But we want to start with the most important information. As you've seen on the air all night, it has been a rough evening.
Round 2 roared through the metro this evening, prompting lots of tornado warnings. Chief Meteorologist Don Slater has been keeping you safe.
So, Don, are we in the clear yet?
Almost. We've got a couple of stray showers out there, not much for rumbles of thunder. Still windy throughout the area, but basically we're winding things on down as expected. This is a little bit different view. This is over the past 3 hours up to the present time, but I've got it on a situation where I'm just able to show you what's going on in terms of where we saw warnings from 8 o'clock, 8:01 this evening to 11:01. You can see all the warnings right through here and another stretch right through here. Of course, earlier we had some stretch through the peninsula as well. But now I'll get rid of those and just show you in sequence what those warnings were doing throughout the region over the past 3 hours. And the only warning that we've got left, well, just got canceled, just got allowed to expire, and that was for Hatteras Island, where we've got some thunderstorms. That's the only place where we've got thunder and lightning remaining. We move on in for a closer view. Again, that warning just expired at Cape Hatteras and Hatteras Island and moved through Ocracoke, moved into Hatteras Island, and it's moving on offshore. Over the eastern shore, we did have a warning a little bit earlier on for some thunderstorms, but they fell apart. They really fell apart as they moved on in. We've still got some scattered rainfall into the Melfa area, Nancock area, but nothing too terribly big. No lightning going on right now. Cape Charles, you're looking kind of quiet, and that line extends all the way southward into the south side, where we're seeing a little bit of rain right along the Virginia Beach and Norfolk border. You can see it extending on down into Chesapeake as well toward the Grassfield area. But again, nothing big. The only big stuff is going on for the Rodanthe area and Salvo area and points southward. But even then, that warning has been allowed to expire. So again, we're looking pretty good. Much better, obviously, than we've been looking all day long. It began with Jeremy Wheeler this morning, and it continued throughout the afternoon and evening. By 11 o'clock, here's what our future track computer model looks like, and it continues to move on away by midnight, and then from there on in, it continues to move on away. Now, we're going to show you what's going on with this longer range version of future track. That'll be coming up with my forecast for you. That'll be in just a few minutes.
And we're also tracking thousands of power outages. Dominion Virginia Power reports nearly 9,000 customers without power across Hampton Roads and northern North Carolina. A spokesperson says the biggest trouble spots are on the peninsula, in Williamsburg, Suffolk, and Chesapeake. We're going to keep you updated on the status of those repairs.
We want to show you two different views of the storm. On one side, you can see lightning strikes caught on our tower cam over downtown Norfolk. On the other side, dark clouds moving over Waverly tonight.
And a heartbreaking sight in that tiny town of Waverly, where the community of 2,300 is mourning a tremendous loss.
3 people, including a toddler, died there today, and there's so much to clean up once the sun rises.
10 News 5's Liz Kilmer's been in Waverly since this afternoon. So what's the latest tonight, Liz?
Tom, Nicole, well, local police have shut the town down. They're enforcing a curfew, and they've requested that the media stay away from the destruction, the aftermath of this deadly storm, a likely tornado that's killed 2 men and a little boy. Twisted telephone wires, homes and businesses mangled, devastation left behind by a deadly storm.
And I saw the clouds getting dark in the back, and next thing I know, the wind just started blowing. It was as fierce as I've ever seen.
In what seemed like seconds, those in its path watched the storm, a likely tornado, come in fast, taking with it so much. People seen here holding one another in the streets of Waverly, trying to grasp devastation never before seen.
No, it's completely devastating. It's horrible. Cars were crumpled on the highway. It picked up cars and threw them in the ditch. So it really did some damage.
2 men and a young boy didn't make it. Police say a 50-year-old, a 26-year-old, and a 2-year-old were in a mobile home that virtually blew away. One of several gone.
You never known it was there. It just picked it up and took it clean across the highway.
Desmond Gardner says this is his uncle's mobile home. The two weren't there when the storm hit. They had just left and were driving.
First, we see the sparks from the power lines coming down and tree branches and stuff flying. And then we seen the railroad guard track come shooting across the yard in the dumpster. And then the wind actually picked the car up and shifted us to the side. And all we can do was just hold on to each other and pray.
Swarms of police, firefighters, and paramedics rushed to the small Sussex County town. This is a look from a command center set up in a local shopping center. As cleanup continues, the people of Waverly pledge to rebuild.
You know, tomorrow isn't promised any one of us. You know, so the question you have to ask yourself is, you know, after a situation like this, you know, did the worst happen or did the best happen?
We're told that 8 others are hurt, but their injuries are non-life-threatening. At last check, no one was reported missing, and right now at this hour, crews are continuing to comb through the wreckage, making sure that everyone has been accounted for. Again, as we said, a curfew is in place. You're asked to stay in your homes until further notice. We are, of course, going to be continuing this coverage and providing you updates. We will have a crew out here starting at 4:30 tomorrow morning. Live in Waverly, Liz Kilmer, 10 on your side.
Let's show you another look at Waverly now. Governor Terry McAuliffe has declared a state of emergency that enables public safety agencies to devote available resources to response and recovery. He said he will visit Waverly and Appomattox. Both towns have serious damage. Neighbors tell us the storm ripped the roofs off buildings, but left other things untouched. After the worst moved through, many people went out to inspect. Several tell us they got caught in the storm and somehow made it out alive.
What was it like as it came through?
Like a train, like a called boo doo 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 doo, and then it just shook the trailer and like it was picking it up. I can't explain it. It was bad. Excuse me, it was bad.
What's that like to go through something like that?
I would never want to do it again. Never, ever.
Several neighbors we spoke to told us they thank God for their lives, but are sad to hear about the loss of friends.
And in the metro, we've been following reports of weather damage all evening long. A tree blew over onto a home on 80th Street in Newport News, so badly damaged here that residents can't stay there tonight. 10 on your side's Liz Palkett is tracking similar situations in the same city.
We are on Cedar Lane, where fire officials think straight-line wind caused a lot of tree damage. It's nearly impossible to count how many trees have fallen onto this street. Some of them, like this one, which was uprooted and fell toward that house. And as we've driven around the area, we've found this is not the only neighborhood affected. Tree removal started soon after the storm in the Warwick on the James neighborhood.
I think it's a mess. I was standing in the kitchen and the daggone wind I ever heard in my life come blowing by. Danny
Milburn has always lived here in Newport News, and he never expected the old cedar trees on Cedar Lane to come down like this.
But it was quite an experience. I've lived here all my life, and I've been around hurricanes and stuff, but I've never heard a wind come up against a house like that.
Battalion Chief Douglas Carper said the soaking ground plus strong wind knocked these trees in the road and in some cases on houses. Power was cut off for the residents too. No one was hurt, and thankfully no one was hurt here either, where a tree on 80th Street fell into the back of a house where a family of 6 was home at the time.
Next thing I know, the tree was coming into the bedroom.
The house was condemned. Resident Mike Booth said he and his wife grabbed as much as they could for their 4 kids, including their baby.
Just glad no one was hurt.
Back on Cedar Lane, there is also a sense of gratitude as residents came out of their houses with their own chainsaws and helped fire crews clear the trees.
I think it's nice. I think it proves there's still some nice people in this world.
City crews worked here until about 10 p.m., not just clearing Cedar Lane, but also some of the neighboring streets. I'm told contractors will be back in the morning to continue clearing debris. In Newport News, I'm Liz Palkett, 10 on your side.
And those same storms brought this to Suffolk tonight. You hear that? A viewer sent us this video of hail coming down in their yard.
Plenty of neighborhoods across Hampton Road saw heavy rain, and that led to street flooding. 10 on your side got this video in downtown and Old Town Portsmouth, where the rain left a mess for drivers there. And with any heavy rain, it doesn't take much for the streets to flood. Many of you sent in pictures of the flooding to report it at WAVY.com. First, this photo from Elizabeth City this afternoon. The high water is near the Museum of the Albemarle on Water Street.
And one of the more intense storms that prompted a tornado warning for Portsmouth and Norfolk went right over the Navy base. This picture showed how the rain turned a parking lot into a lake at Naval Station Norfolk. Remember, if you see news or weather happen and it's safe to do so, take your pictures or video and then send it to reported@wavy.com. Our team coverage continues in just a few minutes.
We are picking up coverage of severe weather in Waverly now.
At least 3 people died when that storm swept through that town this afternoon. 10 on your side's Jason Marks and photographer Aaron Kurtz were on the scene capturing the devastation and speaking with residents. Here's a look at what they saw while walking through town.
Now, we left Main Street. If you were with us about 15, 20 minutes ago, we showed you some of the damage on Main Street. Some of that damage was mainly roof damage, mainly cosmetic to some of the homes. And you can see we're starting to see some of the major damage that we're told is here in this area. So I'm being told that at least one mobile home is completely gone. There's a laundromat up here too that is completely gone. And Eddie, when you look down the street, I can see some washing machines there. Describe to me what I'm seeing or what used to be there.
It used to be the Waverly laundromat.
That whole thing?
Yes.
When you look at it and all you see is the frame.
Yes.
What's that like?
It's sad because as a kid I grew up and I watched a lot of clothes down in that laundromat, and I'm just afraid there wasn't nobody in there when it came through. It's very sad.
It's amazing, isn't it?
That was 10 on your side's Jason Marks, and this is what used to be the Waverly laundromat. Moments ago we showed you how the storm turned it into just a pile of rubble. A viewer posted this picture to our Wavy Facebook page. Many of you are helping us tell the weather story tonight. We've been gathering your pictures and posting them in a special gallery on Wavy.com.
Breaking news from Appomattox now. About halfway between Roanoke and Richmond, we just learned another man has died in the storm there, according to Virginia State Police. That means the severe storms have killed 4 people. Troopers say they have not identified the Appomattox County man or the 3 victims from our area. Police say a 50-year-old, a 26-year-old, and a 2-year-old were in a mobile home that virtually blew away in Waverly. We'll let you know as soon as we have more information.
And it's been 2 rounds for our Super Doppler 10 weather team. The whole gang was in here today.
It has been a busy night. This is a good reminder to tell people that we are required to stay on the air when we have these warnings.
Yes. Yeah, and the thing about it is it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just the right thing
to do. You're talking about lives.
Yes, and safety, of course.
And it's very unusual for lives to be lost. It's been years now since we've had that situation. I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can be safe in a tornado kind of situation. But I want to show you that we're in the clear first, and then we'll get into things, show you what's going on into the region. A look at what's going on Super Doppler 10 Live, the last of it. Moving on out in terms of warnings. 3 hours ago, we had warnings all over the place. Tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings, and mainly tornado warnings. You can see them across much of the south side, going back to 8:16 this evening. Here's where things were. Again, tornado warnings right through here all over the place, and there were tornado warnings, and 22 people trapped in a building in Tappahannock. Just crazy stuff going on with the weather today. We did have one last warning over Hatteras Island. A few thunderstorms rolled on through, but otherwise things are quiet there. They're really kind of quiet for the eastern shore. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning last hour for that area, but nothing going on right now. And as far as the Hampton Roads area, a little bit, and it's basically right on in over the Chicks Beach area, but not too much more than that. That's about it for rainfall, and that's the last of it. We see some of that rainfall off Rodanthe, off Hatteras Island that moved on through just in the past hour or so, with some lightning going on with it as well. But that's what's been going on in the past 3 hours. This has been going on all day. I want to repeat these, and you kind of know about what's going on. You saw that laundromat, and the only thing left were the actual machines, the washing machines, the dryers. Well, those kinds of things don't move. So lots of times if you have a desk, that's not going to move. Something really, really solid. That's why we ask you to go to the lowest level of your house. The basement is best, but we don't have many basements. And go to an interior room or closet. Get the kids off the second floor. Now we're fine. The storms are gone. You go to an interior room away from the outer walls, a bathroom or a closet that's closed in. And of course, you can get into the bathtub. That's probably the safest place in your house. And cover your head. Stay away from windows. Debris can fly through windows. Cover your head with your hands. Mobile homes completely unsafe. In that laundromat, if somebody was in that laundromat, if they would have ducked down next to one of those washers or dryers that survived, they stood a much better chance of surviving. That's the kind of thing that you want to know about with any kind of a tornado or a really, really bad storm. Cool front is moving on through the region. It's starting to move on out to sea, and you can see where the cool front is right there. And that's the cool front. It's over Virginia Beach, over the Chicks Beach area, the Lynn Haven Inlet right now. So again, that's where the cold front is, and we're going to start to cool on down from there. Temperature 61. It's still a little bit warmer than that, I think, at midnight, but not much. It'll cool down overnight into the 40s. Here's where we are by tomorrow morning. 42, 44. This has gone too cold. It's going 51, 54. I'm going 56, 58 degrees coming up for tomorrow. But look at the wind blowing on through. Wind's dropping off. For Friday, we see temperatures on Friday around 45, 48 degrees during the afternoon. That's reminiscent of normal high temperatures for the middle of the winter, but it's not that bad. We've seen worse, certainly, over the winter. Here's where things are by 7 o'clock on Friday evening. It stays a little bit cool into Saturday as well. Look at the rainfall coming down. And the camera shaking around. The wind is still strong out there, and the camera is still shaking around a bit. So again, it was very, very busy. There was lots of lightning out there, but lightning flashes are just a fraction of a second, so they're real hard to pick up on a time-lapse sequence. 63 in Newport News, 68, 64, 74 yet in Virginia Beach. That's not going to last. Neither is the 72 in Chesapeake because temperatures are going to be cooling on down overnight. I want to show you what's going on. Temperatures 68, 74, and then 63, 65 degrees. We're going to see these temperatures start to cool on down, and we see it reflected in the wind shift. Southwest winds here, south winds here, southwest winds here. That's where that cool front line is coming on through. Still some strong gusty winds, 36 miles an hour, occasional gusts, 35. Overnight dropping about 51 degrees by 4, 50 to start the day, 57 degrees. During the middle of the afternoon, lots of sunshine. Very, very quiet weather coming up for tomorrow. It'll be a bit on the windy side, cooler, definitely cooler for Friday and Saturday, warming back up to near 60 and low 60s for Sunday and next week. It is about done.
All right, we'll be back in a few minutes, but don't miss an update overnight. Meteorologist Jeremy Wheeler will have a fresh forecast starting tomorrow morning on Wavy News 10 today at 4:30. We're also on the air on Fox 43 from 7 to 9. Here's the bottom line following severe storms in our area today.
3 people, including a toddler, have died. More than a half dozen others are hurt. The storm struck Waverly this afternoon. We're still working to learn whether that was a tornado.
We plan to have team coverage starting at 4:30 a.m. on Wavy News 10 today. Our morning team will be tracking the weather, damage reports, and any potential issues out on the roads. Throughout the day, look for exclusive video from Chopper 10.
And I'll be traveling to Waverly tomorrow as well. Look for my live reports beginning on Wavy News 10 at 4. In the meantime, get updates on the deadly storm anywhere, anytime on wavy.com.
The high school basketball playoffs were postponed tonight, but we'll visit with the defending state champions from Norcom. And look who's up for a spot in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. The Sports Wrap is next. One of the most successful athletes in Hampton Roads history, Chesapeake's Ricky Rudd, drove a race car as good and as long as anyone ever has, and now he has a chance to be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame. I'm Bruce Rader. Ricky Rudd is one of 18 nominees for this year's Hall of Fame. Rudd, now 58 years old, walked away from the sport he loves 8 years ago after a career that spanned more than 3 decades. Ricky made 906 starts, won 23 races, earned 194 top 5 and 374 top 10 finishes. And he will always be known for setting the modern day record with 788 consecutive starts from 1981 to 2005, earning him the title of NASCAR's Iron Man. The class will be decided in May. All this severe weather shut down the high school basketball playoffs tonight, meaning more action to come throughout the weekend. Safety was the main concern, and to keep you up to date, we have the entire list of the games that have been moved to tomorrow. You can go to WAVY.com, click on sports, and check that out. Now, one school that we're watching closely is Norcom. Both the boys and girls teams has what it takes to compete for a 3A championship this year, and the boys team is looking for back-to-back rings. Nathan Epstein joins us tonight from Portsmouth.
State champions last season.
We like the big three. We were just like the Heat. They started off bad when they had LeBron, Wade, and Bosh.
It was back-to-back for Norcom High School, and their fourth in the last 6 years.
We've been fortunate to win a couple of states here. Hopefully we can do it again this year.
Close out high hands, let's go, talk.
And this year, the big three are back, poised, and primed to three-peat.
Sideline.
It hasn't been done here yet. You know, we went back-to-back, and Doe and them went back-to-back, so now we going for three. We making history for real now.
It'll mean a lot, because, the people that's coming up, they'll look up to us and be like, oh, my God, all of them, they won 3 rings in a row, and everybody going to try to do that each year.
At 24-1 overall, the Greyhounds are led by high-flying Travis Ingram.
He going to bang it hard as he can. He going to try all the crazy stuff.
Every time I dunk, everybody just get hyped, so that helps us a lot.
Senior guard Travis Fields is the field general with 14 points a night.
He's our motor guy, we run through him.
And KJ Davis can hit from just about anywhere.
He'll light you up. You leave him open, he's dropping.
Texas.
The head man doesn't look at it as chasing history.
No, you create your own history, you can create your own legacy. All we do is focus on the present and then just to try to take care of it and win the next game.
Defense wins games. Defense wins championship.
One game, one title at a time. In Portsmouth, Nathan Epstein for the Sports Wrap.
Norfolk State was on the road. The Spartans lose to Morgan State 89-72. NSU now in 3rd place in the MEAC.
It's a long day.
Oh, yeah, very, very long day. It started this morning with some obviously bad weather throughout the day. Saw a little bit of a break early in the evening, and right now things are winding down very, very nicely. That last little line of thunderstorms into the area. You can see a little bit of action going on into Cape Hatteras, but that's moving on off as well. And the one last little line over Virginia Beach, and that's done. So we're looking really pretty good from here on in. But what a day. Quiet tomorrow. It'll be windy, 58. Cooler Friday, Saturday, warmer, back up to near 60 by the next week.
We want to leave you with more of the images from the storms today.
And our team coverage continues tomorrow as we look at what happened in Waverly today. Good night.